I got a lock for my 4-year-old's room. My son is only 4, but he's super into collecting things. He has autism. He has probably every single Monster Jam monster truck ever made. He has every single Marvel slash DC slash superhero action figure you could think of. And he's really into setting up these huge marble runs. Everything is organized and put away nicely, and my son likes to keep it that way. The problem is that every time my best friend's kids or my nephew comes over, they beeline it to his room and trash everything. Literally from ripping off legs to the action figures, ripping off the tires to his monster trucks, and just trashing every single toy that they can get their hands on in general. I'm not even talking about just normal wear and tear. These kids are very destructive and they will destroy almost everything they put their hands on. The marbles ended up all over my house and got lost. He also has a collection of those squishy toys, and one of the kids literally will not keep their hands off of them and bites a hole in one every single time, ruining it. I used to go through his room and have to hide everything before they came over to try to avoid this, but I have literally had it at this point, so I told him they are no longer allowed in my son's room, period. They can play with the huge bin of toys that I have in the living room or one of the hundreds of toys outside, etc. Of course, it didn't go over well and the kids started throwing a fit because they know what's in his room and the toys aren't good enough and they are bored. And my sister and best friend are both saying that I'm being too much and saying that they are just toys. But these toys are expensive. We spent hours building the marble runs just for it to get torn down the absolute second they walk in the door. And after everyone's gone and the room is trashed and all his toys are broken and misplaced, he's really upset over it. Rightfully, in my opinion. They say I'm teaching him not to share and to be greedy, but I disagree. I think they need to teach their kids basic respect for other people's stuff and not to throw a fit when they can't have something. I wouldn't have a problem with them going in there and playing with the stuff if they were even the least bit respectful about it, but proven time and time again that they can't handle it. Now they didn't want to come over with their kids because they think I'm being rude and I honestly don't care. I also believe that you should teach your kids to share, but not everything has to be shared. You can have specific things to just keep for yourself. I'm just curious as to what everyone else thinks. Am I in the wrong or no? You're not in the wrong. These kids do not respect no, and they do not respect your child's belongings. I'm sure your child is willing to share every toy in the entire rest of the house, just not his special ones, and that's fine. As you said, not everything has to be shared, and sharing doesn't mean I get to do whatever I want with your stuff. If a lock on the door is what it takes to keep the hooligans in line, then lock that door, and don't feel bad about it. You're not in the wrong. Unless those parents are willing to replace everything that gets broken every single time, they can either play with the toys available or bring their own. I'd make a list of all the items that have been broken to date and the cost, and present it to the parents. If they are willing to pay for it, then play date can resume. If not, they can stop complaining as a debt is owed. Those kids should be taught to respect other people's belongings, and their parents are at fault for that. Not in the wrong. Screw those parents. Tell them they are welcome to bring their kids if they will put the room back exactly like it was. Take 2 or 3 reference photos. They will not take you up on this. They want you to pay for their bad parenting. Nope. Backstory. I haven't spoken to most of my family in over 10 years after my abusive mother kicked me out. Lines were drawn and sides were chosen. One of my sisters had been very vocal about her hatred for me. Today, the only sibling I still have contact with, let's call her N, texted me asking me for my personal information. When I asked her why she needed it, she said hateful sister needed it for a security check. I refused to give that information. And the conversation went as follows. Right, so respectfully, I'm going to go ahead and say she can mark me as estranged. She can, sorry, but I don't understand what the problem is. I'm sure there is somewhere she can indicate that she has no contact with me. You don't understand why I would refuse to help someone who wrote me off and, by your own admission, has been very vocal of her hate for me. Yeah, sorry, I don't hold grudges against people. I don't associate with people who've hurt me or done me badly, but it's wasted energy and stress to hold on to things. And I do help anyone because I am who I am. I will tell her to mark something. I don't know if they actually check these things. The fact that you would make such a passive aggressive comment instead of understanding my feelings really just speaks volume towards your respect for me. But that's cool. What you call grudges, I call boundaries and self respect, and I'll go ahead and keep those. You do you though. Not passive aggressive at all, nothing to do with not respecting you. I just don't understand your comment could be viewed as why you said, but I don't take it that way. We have different definitions of boundaries and self respect. No one is wrong. Just because I help someone doesn't mean I don't respect myself. I respect myself not to lower my standards to anyone, whether they have been good or bad to me. Just because someone was bad doesn't mean I have to be bad. Am I the jerk here? Now for some comments. You're not in the wrong. If my sister who hated me needed the information, she could have asked herself. The fact that she won't is enough to refuse. Yeah, you're not in the wrong. You owe your sister that hates you absolute nothing. Other sister is making a very poor attempt of indirectly telling you to forgive your hateful sister. But even if the hateful sister wants to apologize, something the other sister hasn't claimed, is up to you to decide if you're willing to hear it out or not. Not in a wrong. You don't have to, and shouldn't, give your personal information to anyone, strange or not. Even more is to someone who hates you. Security check is nonsense. If it's an actual security check, there are investigators. Let them investigate. So I was at Aldi buying a bunch of bananas, and just as I was getting in line, a woman with a child and at least 30 items beat me to the only register operating. I asked the woman politely if I could go in front as I had one item and I was in a rush. She said sure. I went in front of her and she sarcastically continued, because I have a child and that's not important. I asked nicely if she wanted me to step back behind her and she said no, very rudely. She then proceeded to rant about this world's going to the men. I'm going to post about this on Facebook. I wish I had a camera to record this and so on. Another woman comes from behind and the angry mother let her cut her, stating that I cut her in line. In turn, that woman started yelling at me and making a whole scene. I just wanted some bananas and got drama. Had there been self-checkouts, I would have gone there, but I was in a rush and meant no disrespect. I had thought asking would be innocuous, but apparently not. Edit. There was no one behind us. She had not unloaded her items when I had asked, and she left her cart several items to get more items on the side. And now for some comments. This may be an unpopular opinion here, but I think that in a scenario like this, the person in front is supposed to invite you to go ahead first, if they want to. It's a courtesy. Just barging through and demanding, it's kinda pushy. Everyone sucks. Her for her not just simply saying no and everything after, and you for even asking to cut in front. I don't even understand how this is a thing. People, myself included, will occasionally offer, which is nice, but asking is just a jerk move in all but the most severe situations. Everyone sucks. Yeah, you asked, but it sure doesn't sound like you waited for her to finish her answer before you bolted ahead. Registers are first come first serve. If someone offers to let you go ahead of them, that's one thing. But to ask is kinda presumptuous. Is your time really so much more valuable than hers that you couldn't just wait your turn politely? Because let's be honest, asking to cut ahead of her is basically telling her that your time is more valuable. Over Black Friday, I bought 2 games. Mario Kart 8 and FF7 Remake. But due to an Amazon mix-up, it was mistakenly sent to my exes. A few days ago, she let me know a package for me arrived. I apologized for the mix-up and asked her to forward it to me when she gets the chance. She was okay about it and promised to send it by the end of the week. I got the package, but the one game was missing. Hey, I didn't see FF7 here. Is that coming separately? Nope. Nope, you get to buy that over. Haha, okay, but really, is it in a separate package? No, it's my thanks for helping you. Okay, all jokes aside, you are sending it, right? Utter silence. Hello? You are sending it, right? I get a phone call and she asks if I'm mad. I said I will be if she's serious. She gets defensive and sleazy about trying to keep the game. I'm trying my hardest to reason with a 30-year-old woman about what stealing is, and I reach my limit. Her father is a great man and still keeps a good relationship with me, and he unfortunately needs to act as her moral compass sometimes. So I say, do I really need to get your father involved for you to do the right thing? Like I'm dealing with a 14-year-old? You won't dare get my father involved in this. I hung up within a second and called her father. Poor guy was pleasant as a peach, happy to hear from me, asking how the winter is treating us in Pennsylvania. And I had to cut through pleasantries to let him know his daughter just committed a federal crime. Opened up mail addressed to me and stole part of its contents. The man is a former cop, his tone grows low and defeated, and he tells me he'll talk to her. I apologize for dragging him into this and promised to catch up later. While waiting for her to call me back, I filled out the police report but did not submit it. She calls and in typical fashion starts playing the victim. God, if you're going to make such a big deal over your stupid precious video game, I guess I'll send it to you. Nah, you are not going to make me the bad guy for being upset over you opening my mail and stealing from me. Not happening. Fine, I'll send it to you. Only if you apologize for inconveniencing me. And I go full my father mode and yelled, screw you. You either send it to me or I press send on this police report. She panicked and relented. So, was dragging her father in and going nuclear the wrong thing? Could I have handled this better? I'm sure though I'm holding back a lot of emotions here. Did I get threatening too quick? Thanks if you made it through this disaster. Hopefully it was worth your time. To address some common concerns, yes, I deleted the Amazon address data. The external site I went through defaulted to the old address for some reason. Never has it done that before. I offered to pay postage as we live very far away now, Pennsylvania and Maine, but she wanted $30 for the return, which wasn't happening. Upon retrospection, going straight to the authorities would still have gotten her father involved, since she lives with him and he basically handles all her adult responsibilities. Therefore, the am I the wrong question is more or less should I submit a police report or let it be? Which one would make me be in the wrong? And now for some comments. You're not in the wrong, she got what she deserved. Are you sure you don't want to give it another go? She sounds like a peach. Not in the wrong. She literally admitted to stealing your posts and the messages. Also delete her address off Amazon as soon as possible. Sounds like you dodged the bullet with her. Not in the wrong. Sounds like this individual is an ex for a good reason.